Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to a Champions League game between Josiah Emery, Atlantic League runner-up and Champions League representative, and Tomas Tvaroh, the world number one ranked player, OTSL Season 2 champion, and a guy who I've played several times now. We've played 4 times. We've split 4 games, and just a great player, fun to watch play. Excited to see what this one has in store for us as well. This is a group play game. So let us get right to it. In this one, Josiah is once again the USSR, and Tomas is the US. We'll be watching from Josiah's side as we did last time. And we've got an interesting hand here. Defectors in hand is great, along with Duck and De Gaulle and Sock Govs. So if Tomas sets up 3-3-2, we Sock Govs and then Duck to take Italy makes sense. But Tomas is not the type of player to do that. He is a 4-4-2 guy, much like myself. So no surprise there. So we'll see if Josiah decides to go De Gaulle Duck, or if he wants to do something else. Yep, goes ahead with his plan. De Gaulle and then Duck to take France. A very strong opening. Obviously a great way to start a game, to take France. France, a critically important country. Make sure you're not dominated in Europe and actually threaten domination yourself if you take Portugal. And then puts the third in South Korea. I know some players like South Korea, some players like Afghanistan there. But South Korea is certainly fine. And we will see how Tomas decides to respond. I wonder if he'll head right into Pakistan. Yep, he's going to go Pakistan, and he headlined containment. So 2 Pakistan, 1 Malaysia. That is exactly how I would respond if I were Tomas. And wow, Josiah thinking about a coup right away and gets it. Rolls a 5 on a 4-op coup. Now he's just hoping that Tomas does not have the war. It's a huge roll for Josiah. Normally, coupping Pakistan as the USSR is a little bit of a desperation play, but in this particular case, Josiah needed mil-ops anyway. Wow, we're going to go Suez to, going ahead and establishing that footprint in the Middle East. So Tomas says, okay, you take Pakistan, I will take Thailand, Egypt, and Libya. And Josiah thinking about pulling out another 4-op here. So Portugal I like. That means Tomas is going to have to spend 4 ops to negate Europe domination. Like the decision here by Josiah to take presence in the Middle East and get into India. I think if Tomas had the war, we would have seen it there, but certainly Josiah making no mistake getting right into India there. I like the decision. So Josiah wants to take, CIA, so we're going to have a 1-op coup in Iraq, the lower DEFCON. Yep, no surprise. Oh, rather a 2-op coup. So that saves mil-ops VPs. Now Josiah with the opportunity to go to space here if he wants. Also has the option to take Asia domination. Yeah, 1 Burma makes sense too to threaten Laos. But yeah, Josiah's definitely going to want to take a non-battleground by the end of the turn. He's also going to want to take South Korea by the end of the turn. And he's not going to want to leave Pakistan all by its lonesome. He's going to want to put 2 in India as well. So 2 India. He's got 6 ops here to play with. 2 India. 2 South Korea. Oh, okay. And Tomas dumps the scoring. So just gets away with -2. So, Laos makes sense. That's a nice break for Josiah and shores up Middle East presence. And then with 5-year plan, so I've said that taking South Korea is important. With Asia scored, much less important. Overprotecting France here is important because, especially with Truman out, and it determining Middle East domination. You know what? That's a little bit of a risky play from Josiah. Let's see if Tomas decides on a France jam here. That is what I would do, because that stops Europe domination. you know, it's a good way to steal a coup next turn if nothing else. Josiah, thank you for gifting a sub to someone here. I very much appreciate that. Appreciate all your support here. Okay, yeah, and there's a France poke, and Tomas goes into Libya. All right. Okay, not a lot of ops here on turn 2. Josiah does get Europe and Middle East. And so he's going to hope that Tomas does not have that. So Truman is going to wipe Josiah out of France, and now Josiah with the option of playing China card to take France back, or he can just take the coup. Yep, and I think this is the right play with Europe in hand. Yep, you're going to give up a coup here. You do have AI war, so you can get mill-ops out of it. You're just going to hope that Tomas does not roll. I think Egypt is the obvious choice here for the coup. Okay, so Josiah gets bitten there by Truman, but is able to recover France. He just has to give up a coup. And he's hoping the roll isn't good enough because because certainly Tomas is going to want a coup here, and then Josiah may just score Middle East if the coup isn't good. If the coup is good, I would expect Josiah to take Algeria. That is a high priority for sure. So Tomas is well known in the Twilight Struggle community as a rather deliberate player. He's a guy who will take his time, wants to make sure he makes the right move. So we certainly respect that. And we are running this game at 1.5 speed, so a little faster than real time. These players, interestingly, decided to go with 45-minute timers in this one rather than the accepted standard 60 minutes. 45 minutes is also the standard in RTSL levels 1 and 2 as well. Tomas still thinking about his play. The obvious play is a simple coup in Egypt, lowers DEFCON to 2, gets you your mill ops, and obviously prevents Josiah from taking a shot at Panama or Iran. But maybe he's thinking about spending 4 ops to stop Europe domination. Or maybe he's even perhaps thinking about a venting Marshall plan here. Okay, yeah, 4 ups, and you know what? He's going to stop Europe down. Oh, okay, he's just going to jam France again. Okay, so Tomas decided to jam France, hope that Josiah didn't have a guilt-free 3-op, but he did. And there's another France jam. And Josiah's going to fix that. But now Josiah out of ops for the most part. Now he's at Josiah with 3 action rounds left, and 2 of them are going to be scorings. Yep, and there's another 4-hop, and this one Josiah can't do anything about. So overprotect France, kids. That is your lesson there. And Josiah, with really no recourse here, then I would say to go ahead and take his coup. You want to take your coup here in the Middle East. Get your mill ops, lower DEFCON to 2. Then you score Europe and score the Middle East. No, I don't like this because... Yeah, I don't love that decision from Josiah. I would rather take the coup because Tomas needs 5 ops to reestablish domination in Europe. He's got to take France back. Now, I suppose he could put 2 in the UK and 1 in East Germany, but I highly doubt he would do that. Okay, and now Tomas not even going to coup, so Josiah Finally somebody wants to coup, or as I sometimes say, somebody coup something. Oh, and Josiah gets a huge roll to flip Middle East domination from blue to red. That is a monster roll there from Josiah going for a 6. I actually was going to even suggest that Josiah might want to coup Egypt to even out the Middle East. Even though Libya is obviously the better long-term play. But a huge 6 from Josiah, and now Tomas is going to have to respond to that. With a 2-op poke of Libya, perhaps. We will see. Okay, IP war for the event makes just as much sense. Yep, and there's the 4. So Josiah gets his 3 off from the Middle East, but a 4 flips Pakistan. If India had been taken, that IP war would have failed. So both players eventually get mill-ops, and France still sitting at 10-10. So it'll be interesting here to see how these guys react to that. Okay, so defectors in Josiah's hand, he redraws it, and so this may be a situation where you can headline D-stall. Oh, and duck. Interesting. So this is going to be a little bit of a painful D-stall for Josiah. Yep, he's thinking about it. He's going to empty Poland. Okay, so now with Duck, you can freely do this. Yep, I like Venezuela, Chile, Angola, and then I would probably go, I think Nigeria is probably fine. And then on AR1, you can take France back. I guess my play here would be to take France with Marshall. And so I would be fine emptying Portugal because I know I'm never getting Europe domination. But okay, I like the D-stall though. That's fine. And then I like taking France back here. One Syria I like, one Finland obviously. I like Portugal in this particular case because I think I'm giving up the chance to take Europe domination by giving up Marshall. Or if you're not going to play Marshall, if you want to do something like give up NORAD, then sure, you can leave Portugal occupied. But I just don't think it's that important a country at the moment. But okay, Josiah takes Poland back, and he takes France. Okay, so Tomas now is going to have to, even with Marshall, is going to have to spend 2 ops in Europe to stop domination. It's a shame that nothing's happening in France. Yeah. Yeah, when the USSR takes it quickly but doesn't overprotect, often you see some fireworks there. And that's exactly what happened here. Okay, China card, we could see a flip of Thailand. Yep, so interestingly, Josiah decided to use his 3 ops and not overprotect France. He took Thailand. So Josiah winds up with France anyway, though, and Tomas gets Thailand. And Josiah is going to want to spread out in South America here, but he's not going to have a ton of ops to do it. I think you're going to want to event captured Nazi. I don't think you're going to want to give up NORAD with Canada already at 3. So you're probably going to space that. And then really you've just got 4 ops left to play with. South Korea also needs to be taken. France needs to be overprotected. Okay, and there's Asia. So Tomas actually briefly had domination after winning the IP war and then flipping over Thailand with the China card. Instead, it comes out for even. I also like getting 1 into Algeria. I didn't see this before, but Josiah did empty Egypt entirely. Not sure I like that decision. I want to force the U.S. player to event Sadat. Maybe don't let it stick around to the late war. Okay, and Josiah decides to space. Yep, should have evented first. Yep, that is correct. But you can still event now and prevent the double space if you want. So yeah, certainly not a blunder, but small mistake there by Josiah, and he gets away with it. And now just 2 ops left, and certainly I would think you're going to want to go Zaire, and Venezuela would be my play. Obviously, overprotecting France is still important, but you want to get presence in South America and make sure VOA can't totally wipe you out of South America. You also want to make sure that a little grain sales coup doesn't take you out of both Angola and Zaire. Josiah, no doubt, happy to see Comic-Con, so he can overprotect his Eastern European battlegrounds. And it's turn 3, so Tomas needs to take Mexico and Panama. Okay, yep, spending his 2 ops in Europe to stop Dom, that makes sense. And then getting Panama, and I think we definitely need 1 in Venezuela here and 1 in Zaire. Yes, that is how I would have thought about it as well. And France is once again not overprotected, so Tomas could jam it again if he wanted, although with the threat of Truman gone, maybe less important now. But neither player getting mill-ops that turn after the duck headline. And there's VR, which I assume takes Mexico. Oh, interesting. Okay, gonna poke Angola. And here, folks, is some absolute garbage. This hand is terrible. The one bright spot here is probably South African unrest, which will, well, 2 bright spots. You got South African unrest, and you also got Sadat. So you can get Sadat out of the deck, and then play Muslims and then potentially take Egypt back with Middle East unscored. Yeah, I'm fine with a 1-op coup here. I might even honestly coup Angola to just stop the. Okay, well, the 4 is fine. I was going to say I might even coup Angola just to get the U.S. out of there so they can't flip Zaire. But this makes sense too. And Josiah gets a 4. So space is going to be very important here. So Josiah's certainly happy to get Sadat out of the deck. Now, he could do something like put EEU into Iran and really prep Muslims. And now, obviously, okay, well, with 2 in Israel, that is less valuable now. So maybe you just use use Muslims to fill up South America. Yep, and I like the decision to overprotect Zaire as well. Yeah, Muslims could be an interesting event. Tomas misses the roll. Josiah can now space at his leisure. Yeah, EEU, and that again puts East Germany and Poland back down to 3. So certainly Josiah's going to want to space here. The question is, what will he space? Will he space? Yeah, I think you're going to space nuke subs or bear trap. But boy, you really don't want to give OAS with this board. Yep, certainly that. Now, I don't believe for a moment that Tomas has the scoring. 1 France? Yeah, going to Saudi Arabia makes sense. Um, I think I would space Bear Trap and give nuke subs here. Obviously on AR7. Going into Saudi Arabia makes sense here. I think that's fine. If we're going to fight for the Middle East, we definitely need the ops. Oh, Malaysia is okay. Threaten Indonesia, okay. Josiah not in a good spot ops wise here. Tomas decides to take the UK and Indonesia, which makes sense. Okay, Josiah tries the roll, he misses. That was as good a time as any. And Willie, Josiah will happily take that VP. And now Tomas sets up domination. And Josiah going to try and sneak out a blockade here. Ooh, that's a nice discard. Now, the goal here is just to make your opponent repair all three of these. And I think this will do. He'll repair West Germany. I don't know if you need to repair UK. No, he does. Okay, and then nuclear subs. What can that do? Poke of Lebanon to stop Middle East domination and discourage the coup. I think Tomas is certainly going to coup anyway if he's got any kind of a card to do it, and he does. Okay, and he flips over Nigeria. So that was a rough hand for Josiah, but he got through without too much damage.
Only when our arms are sufficient beyond doubt can we be certain beyond doubt that they will never be employed.
Okay, now we have some more garbage here. So 5-year plan in Southeast Asia is a thing that could happen, but Southeast Asia right now is even, and this hand is full of problems. So I think you're probably going to give up Usurian Nixon. Camp David, not really an issue at the moment. You're going to space puppets. And then 5-year plan, you're going to want to use 5-year plan with OAS. Southeast Asia, yeah, I mean, you could run into CRGs here, which is annoying. But Che is pretty much useless. And you certainly don't want to headline any of these other cards. I think Southeast Asia is a fine headline. And if you run into CRGs, that means it's being used in Asia and not in Africa. Okay, so here's Junta, and Tomas gets just enough on the roll. So I think we may see a coup here. Okay, poke Brazil to Uruguay is interesting. Poke Brazil to Uruguay presents Tomas with an issue in South America. Okay, so we're going to put 2 into Brazil and flip over Lebanon. I think I'd rather be putting those ops into Saudi Arabia. But, okay, stop Middle East Dom. Now, space is important here. Now, I wonder if Tomas is thinking, okay, no, he's going to use CMC to repair and then go, yeah, because I was wondering if Tomas potentially had the scoring. Yeah, we've got to get a, okay, all right. So Josiah now going to go into Uruguay, but opens Venezuela up to realigns. I think I would have liked 1 Brazil, 2 Uruguay on the prior action round. Portuguese. And yep, he's going to realign. And Josiah just needs him to miss these rolls. There's one miss, and there's two. Okay, so Josiah's gambit pays off. Now he can get his own realigns. Oh, I don't agree with this. Oh, okay, big roll. But I would have tried my own realigns. But perhaps Josiah not really. Perhaps Josiah seeing those realigns go not so well and wanting to not repeat that. Okay. Oh, a big coup with ABM of Zaire, and now potential Africa Dom being threatened here. I like realigns in South America. Also, I was just about to say both players. Space is very important here. Both players need the space. Tomas gets the space race roll off. And yeah, so now we've come to the uncomfortable portion of Josiah's turn here. He wants the space. Okay, going to space Usuri and miss on that roll. Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Tomas has Africa, and we might see something like Cameroon, Zimbabwe, and then a neat counter in Che. Now, the annoying thing for Josiah is because he used the China card, he cannot reliably, at least, 5-year plan OAS. He might play Che AR6 and then 5-year plan AR7, but it might hit Puppets. Now, Puppets is not too bad, but it's going to go into Saudi Arabia, which is annoying. I think Josiah definitely wants to fill up Saudi Arabia. Oh, big old 4-op. Okay. Yeah, I still think you Che here. It's not going to stop domination. Yep, Tomas, wow, he took 4 countries knowing he needed all 4 of them. So a good play. That's a good play by a good player, folks. Just he knew that Che was a possibility. He really wanted to score that domination, so he took 4 non-battlegrounds. And there's only so much Josiah could do. So good play, a good response by Josiah, but just not quite enough. And Tomas now up by 15 VPs here in the mid-war, and yet like this decision, and Josiah misses there. He was hoping to hit OAS, instead hits Puppets. Now, where's Puppets going to go? Saudi Arabia? Certainly. Perhaps Mexico. And maybe Afghanistan? Yep, okay, Paraguay. Oh, Paraguay makes sense to threaten Argentina, sure. So I like realigning here. Brazil first, and then if you get the rolls... Oh, goodness, don't roll like that. Oh, that's a big miss. Yep, so lots of realignment targets here. You've got Brazil at +1. You've got Zaire at +2. And then you also have South Africa at +2 as well. So lots of good realignment targets. But Josiah, at this point, is down 15 VPs. He needs to worry about just making it to next turn. Yep, that was a tough sequence of realigns there. But okay, Europe is unscored. South America is unscored, and Middle East is unscored. Josiah going to go for Missile Envy here. And Tomas, again, without any power cards, it would seem, just going to go ahead and concede South America scoring for what is likely to be 5. We'll see what he's got in his hand. Oh, NTB. So another VP for Josiah, but he's got a coup immediately, otherwise subjects France to realignments. Going for Thailand. Okay, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Asia is scored, though. And if I'm Tomas and I have Middle East... Oh, of course, he's got to play Missile Envy. Duh. Oh, and he gets a big roll. Tomas with a huge roll to flip Thailand right back. Okay, and now I would not be surprised Okay, just a little African coup. Okay, and then, yeah, and he's just we're gonna hope that Tomas does not have Middle East. So 5 more action rounds here for Josiah. He's going to have to play 5 of these 6 cards unless he events cultural and plays China. Yep. And I think you probably need cultural for the ops here to take back Libya. But you can also, yeah, you might need to event it. I think I like this play by Josiah. Even if he takes Libya back, he's still dominated in the Middle East, and you need the China card for some hand flexibility here. Certainly, you're going to give Kennedy maybe a hold voice, space CRGs. Also, South Korea is sitting at 1-2, and it has been for quite a while. Josiah gets the roll this time. I would expect to see Middle East from Tomas. Well, CIA just for one lonely influence point. Okay, yeah, you got to overprotect Thailand. That makes sense. I think I like libs here. To just threaten Mexico. Maybe you get Tomas to spend a big card taking Mexico back. Okay, going to give OAS. Yep, to Argentina. I think you take the. Oh, interesting. I would have expected Josiah to take a shot on the +2 realign there, but given how well realigns in South America have worked so far, this game I can understand his reticence. But a 4-op takes Argentina and Paraguay and levels South America. Okay, just a 2 and no scoring cards in Tomas's hand. Allende and what else? I didn't even see. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, OPEC, yes. And there's Middle East. OPEC was only a 2 VPs anyway. Okay, and Tomas does have Middle East. So we will see libs as an AR7 play. I think 1 Panama, 1 Mexico, 1 Chile is... 1 Panama, 1 Mexico, 1 Cuba makes sense. But this is fine too. Okay, so a little bit of a weak response there. Central America very much up for grabs. Okay, salt negotiations and brush war, nice. Nice also not to have to deal with grain sales. And Korean War, good. You can just use that to take South Korea. Warsaw not coming back till turn 7 is potentially a little bit tricky. Now, Europe scoring is in Tomas's hand. IP war could be huge as well. Okay, quick brush war. Yep, and the Pope has got to be responded to. Although you do have Warsaw in hand. Okay, wow. So a Libya. So now with Italy flipped, I think you go ahead and take your coup here. No. I don't like this. No. I don't like this. No. Tomas knows you have Warsaw. Just hold on. Just keep hold of it. Just hold on to Warsaw. No, I don't like that. Maybe I guess perhaps you could salt for Warsaw later. I like you can let Tomas just take Poland. Now maybe, well, let's see. What's the dominant? 4, 5. So Poland would have stopped domination, but then you just break Poland and, you know, just take it up to 3, and then you can play Warsaw. Okay, so gives up the coup, and a big coup it is. That evens up South America, so that is a costly, costly coup for Josiah here. Yep, and now Salt for Ops. Makes sense as well to get it to put a dent in Central America. But yeah, there was no need to fix up Poland that quickly. That could have been a Nigeria coup. You keep Venezuela, you potentially flip Nigeria, and then you're looking at having domination in both instead of both being even. But okay, we move on, and Josiah does take Mexico. Not sure where One Small Step is. I don't know that we've seen it. It could be in Tomas's hand, which is perhaps why Josiah is not thinking about spacing just yet. IP War is a nice event. Korean War, I think, has got to be used to take South Korea. I think you're giving up R-Man here, probably, so I think you probably use R-Man for a coup here in Guatemala. Both players need to watch their clocks a little bit. Josiah, okay, Muslims, Libs, and We Will Bury You. That's pretty nice. That's a pretty nice discard. Okay, Josiah does get a big roll there. Josiah with under 14 minutes left on the clock now to play 3.5 turns. That is definitely a question mark. Tomas with just over 17 minutes, so he's got to be mindful of the time as well. And OPEC is going to be it's going to be 0. So we saw OPEC discarded, and he just got it right back. Yep, South Korea's got to be taking this turn. Josiah going to hold off on spacing as long as humanly possible. Okay, finally does get Europe for 7. That's big. I think IP War or Korean War makes sense now. Yep. So Tomas still could, in theory, get domination in Asia, but he'd have to take Japan and Taiwan and another country, while Josiah does nothing. So Asia probably pretty safe at the moment, and actually now dominated by Josiah. U2 incident, another much-needed VP for Josiah to get Tomas under the War Games range. And there's Afghanistan and Philippines, just to make sure Josiah didn't redraw the scoring. Also, obviously, IP War protection. Oh, okay, so Josiah thinking of pulling out the China card here. I don't know that I would do that. Yeah, I like spacing, and Josiah was just hoping to miss that roll, and he hit it. And I believe, yep, that is the reason. So unfortunate for Josiah, but I think it was the right play. I believe Gunman's still in the deck, so you want to maintain that threat with China card in your hand. Okay, and now with Pakistan needing a 6 to be flipped, Josiah decides to take Taiwan and reestablish Dom. I think that makes sense. And I'm going to hold CRGs to the late war. And then arms race to flip Laos. Nope, just Malaysia. And then reestablish Africa domination. That makes sense too.
One such lesson, learned by the world at great cost, is that
Oh
aggression
boy, here is a hand.
becomes a contagious disease.
Okay, so Iran Iraq war is useless. But having defectives in your hand is nice. Headline Aldrich here, looking, obviously hunting for gunmen. Honestly, this might be a hand. Aldrich is always nice, but you know what? With the board looking how it does, I don't know if I don't just hope that Tomas does not have war games and go balls to the wall for West Germany. It's sitting at 5-1 right now. You headline ABM, jam 3 more in there. Truman's gone, and then U.S. Japan puts 4 more on top of that in there, and you have the China card. That is going to be tough for Tomas to deal with. So maybe you fight for Europe control here, but Josiah going to go Aldrich. Oh, and Middle East coming out. And wow, some scorings here. So yes, there's no question Tomas would not be able to fight this domination. Would not be able to fight if you had gone for Europe scoring. But okay, yeah, I think you take missile envy. Yeah, it's either missile envy or duck and cover. Oh boy, Josiah could have had Europe control here, potentially. Now, obviously does have to worry about defending in these other countries. Yep, so a coup here could be very good. And, he needs a big roll. He's going to have a 5. I think missile envy is fine. Yeah. Oh, devastating. Absolutely devastating one. That also evens out Asia. Because with all the scoring cards in Tomas's hand, Josiah could really press his advantage here if he rolled even a 2 or a 3. But now, with just a 1, there's not much you can do. Okay, I would now probably be trying to looking to hold ABM and think about Europe control here. Because you don't have any good regions anymore other than Europe. Yep, overprotect both of those. So now and Panama's already overprotected. Yeah, I don't like this. Okay, up rolls the 3. So now we'll see Duck repair that. Okay, so now we're gonna just jam with Sock Govs potentially. Yeah, looking for cards here. Yeah, South African unrest can repair. So yeah, you're gonna have to use a China card. Okay. Okay, so use the China card. Tomas's hand is very bad, so Tomas is not going to be able to fight this and will instead have to give up a 4-point domination. Still doesn't get things under the War Games range, though. And now so he's going to try realigns. This is a little bit of a desperation play. Oh, no, okay. So he's going to go in Zaire. Okay, cleans him out of Zaire. Okay, this flips over Africa. Okay. This is a difference between me and some other players out there. I am quicker, for better or for worse. I'm quicker to abandon the board and try for things like Europe Control or DEF CON. But Josiah pushed hard here and was able to flip Venezuela and Zaire. So now he's got a couple of dominations on the board. Now he's still down 9 VPs, but he's got 3 doms on the board to just 1 for Tomas. So this is certainly not over yet. Okay, yeah, to Saudi Arabia makes sense. I think I would have liked to see Josiah find. Well, you don't want to you don't want to space Chernobyl and leave it in the discard pile to potentially be picked up later. Um, so I was gonna say I would like to see Josiah space, but I think it's fine that he is not. Yep. Okay. Now you got to put one in Zaire, and then I think two Saudi Arabia is fine too. Oh, okay. Two Tunisia, sure. Yep. And Josiah now just with just over 6 minutes on the clock for 2 turns. So he's going to have to play at a significantly faster pace here. And Latin American debt crisis, another issue. I think you just double up Argentina. I wouldn't think too hard about this one. Yep, this is fine. Oh, and a poke of India gives Tomas Asia domination. And Josiah knows he needs to speed up. Here is more garbage. All blue except for nuclear test ban. And independent reds is annoyingly an issue. Yeah. I mean, nuclear test ban, is Willie in effect? Willie is in effect. Oh boy, nuclear test ban realigning West Germany is interesting. Okay, gonna go defectors instead to save a VP. This hand is very bad. I don't know if it's a self-trap hand. NORAD and on turn 9 is basically harmless. Oh, Usuri is going to cause some problems in Asia. Yep, and that needs to be fixed. Josiah thinking hard, but time ticking away here. We're under 5 minutes now to play 2 full turns. Tomas going to take the coup, flip back Zaire. Yeah, self-trapping is, you really don't want to do that. I don't think this hand is bad enough to warrant self-trapping. And we'll see if Tomas has war games. He does not. Man, there was an opportunity here for Europe control. Oh boy, China card going where? India? Nope. Okay, that looks like somebody who has Africa scoring. Because that was an 8 VP swing that flipped over. Oh boy. Okay, Josiah does decide to self-trap. Now he's got 6 countries to Tomas's 6 as well. So just one op, I guess he needs 2 ops, will give him domination back with Josiah trapped. So Zaire very realignable here. But Tomas, if he has the scoring, can just go to Ivory Coast and then quickly score Africa. Okay, Marine Barracks is going to be mildly annoying, but it's not going to stop domination. Yeah, I think you go to... No, going to go with a coup. And he misses. Okay, so a little bit of a gamble there by Tomas, and he does not get it. Didn't need the mill ops there. And then he has Africa. Yeah. So perhaps I'm counting. Oh no, you know what? Okay. Never mind. I counted wrong. I forgot about Tunisia. Sometimes I do that, folks. But yes, Tomas needed to flip a country, not just take one. He was down 7-6. So yes, a fine play there by Tomas. The roll just didn't work out for him. Shuttle is a problem for Josiah in Asia. I don't think you want to give that. Yep, I think spacing it is good. Take a VP. And then flower power is not in effect. I'm going to give North C. Okay, I don't mind that. It does. It does give Tomas something to repair. Okay, so he's going to repair and take Canada for NORAD purposes. Oh, and then special. Ouch. That is not what you want to see. Okay, Josiah with just over 2 minutes for this turn 10. And he gets a terrible hand. He's got tear down, he's got Cal, and he's got VOA. Josiah with just 2 minutes left. Now a minute 50. I don't know that he'll be able to finish this turn. Glasnost is inactive. Junta, though, very much active. And now Josiah will not be able to do anything like use Cal for ops. Oh, yes, rather he will, because he raised DEFCON, of course. What am I saying? Yep, so Josiah now thinking about that. Thinking perhaps, yeah, he's got to take that back. Josiah with just over a minute left. This is spending way too much time on this. Yeah. Okay. So with 38 seconds left, yeah, so Josiah would be able to space tear down. Oh yeah, Josiah did not need to poke Japan. He yep. Oh, France finally overprotected. Okay, and there's Kitchen for a coup. I'm going to pause the video when the time runs out, and we can take a look at the final score. Okay, and that was it. Okay, so we can look at the board here now that the game ended on time. So Tomas up by 10 VPs. Europe was +3 for Josiah. South America +5 for Josiah. So that's 8. And then Josiah also had the China card. So 9 for Josiah. And then for Tomas, he had 2 in Central, 1 in Africa, so that's 3. 4 in the Middle East, so that's 7. And then Asia was even. So 7 for Tomas, 9 for Josiah, 7 for Tomas on the board. So +2 for Josiah. And then, of course, Tomas up by 10 VPs. So that would mean if the game ended right here, Tomas would win by 8 VPs. In terms of scoring, the only scoring still out is Asia, and neither that wouldn't have been a domination for anybody there. In fact, would have been 1 point for Tomas, so wouldn't have changed the score. So I think Josiah was right in his assessment that he was not going to win this one in final scoring. He needed to make up 8 VPs, and he had some really bad cards in his hand. Wasn't going to be able to get VPs from space. AWACS he's going to have to repair. Allende was going to do nothing. He was going to have to give up a VP from Evil Empire, and obviously hold voice. So this, and he was going to have to get his mill up somewhere along the line as well. So, an interesting game here. Josiah lost on time. Would have lost in final scoring anyway, but one that was an interesting one. I think that will. Yeah. Oh, and Josiah does point out correctly that Brazil and Zaire were available. So if Josiah is able to realign Zaire, that turns from +1 for Tomas to +4 for Josiah. There would have been a 5 VP swing there. And then if Josiah is able to flip Brazil, so he would have had to clear Tomas out and then also prevent it from going back in. He was able to flip Brazil. Tomas, I'm sure, would have taken Paraguay to maintain presence in South America. So that would have been another 3 VP swing. So that actually would have been 8. That would have made up the difference. Now, of course, you needed big rolls there. Tomas was going to have to give up some VPs here in this hand. He's going to have to give up a VP with Evil Empire and a VP by probably playing AWACS and not repairing it. So I think Tomas probably still had it, but a good point there by Josiah / Tomas that this could have been closer. Just a couple of big rolls in a couple of big realignment rolls really could have changed the outcome. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you tuning in here in the middle of the day to a kind of a last-minute game. But that is going to do it for our Twilight Struggle game for now. Next up, I'll actually be playing Hervé Godino. I'm going to be playing him on Thursday. I will not be streaming it here, though. I will be recording that one. That is an All-Star Series game. So I'm going to just record that. I'll send it over to ARZ, and then they will stream that one, potentially along with the Tim Tvaroh and Chris Way game that just happened this morning. So they'll want to do both of them. Probably want to do both those games as the All-Star Series rolls on. The Calgary Conference down 2-0. Already, so needing to make up some ground in a hurry. And for those of you who don't know what the All-Star Series is, each year at the halfway point of the ITSL season, the player with the best record in each conference who has played at least 8 games, in this case was Chris Way in the Bratislava Conference and Ka-Chun Law in the Calgary Conference, selects 6 other players to play in a series. And so each of the 7 players in total are matched up with a player from the opposing conference, and then it's a 7-game series. Last year it was 3 conferences, and so there were 6 players from each conference. This year, just 2 conferences, so there are 7 players from each conference. I've been selected to participate in that, and so Emery and I will be playing our game on Thursday and potentially streaming that on ARZ on Saturday, either this Saturday or in a future Saturday. So I hope you'll join in for that. And then on Friday, I've got Zidane in an OTSL game. And then next week, Monday, Tuesday, first 2 games of my ITSL playoff series against Michael Patnick. So I look forward to that. But in the meantime, this is Justin Abramson signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, that was fun. But now it's done. So long, everybody.